Hi, I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And this is ReDIScover, a conversation where we travel through everything that makes up the essence of who we are and how to live authentically and imaginatively.
Here, we invite you to join us as we explore and discuss a little bit of, well, everything.
From Disney to cultivating your most authentic life to deepening your relationships and talking about the real stuff.
We hope you'll find this a space that speaks to you, encourages you, and brings a little bit of magic into your day.
Hi guys, I'm Jess.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen.
And welcome to this week's episode of ReDIScover. We are going to do something a little bit different this week, and we are going to film the audio of our podcast as we always do, but also we're going to film a video for YouTube so you guys can come along with us as we go on our journey through discussing all of the Walt Disney World resorts. We are very excited about this episode because the resorts are honestly our favorite part of Walt Disney World. There's so much to talk about, so much to learn and discover. Whether or not you've been there, we will share all of our favorite tips and tricks and secrets and everything we can think of. So
yes, all our favorite places to eat, all of our favorite resorts, for what reason, and all of these little hidden areas that you can find to just relax at the resort hotels, which is our reason why we love them so much. Is they're just still that immersive experience that you expect from Disney, but kind of take a step back, relax, chill out, and enjoy the vacation element of Walt Disney World. There's great restaurants, fun pools, awesome theming, beautiful music, and we are on our way right now to one of the most beautiful Disney resorts of all time to kick it off.
yes, and a lot of you guys have told us that you listen to our podcast while you're driving in the car, so this introduction is filmed with us in the car, so it felt like we could be all together.
Exactly. So come along with us, get in the car. I've got lots of room in the back seat as we head off to Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa to do this resort episode in style.
We'll see you there.
Welcome.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
So we are live from Disney's Grand Floridian Resort
And Spa.
and we are going to do our podcast today. Right here you can see the Grand in the background, and you'll probably be seeing a few passing vehicles, including cars like you just saw, and of course monorails,
Which is very exciting.
yes.
So we are kicking off our probably most anticipated episode of this month, where we get to talk about our favorite thing at Walt Disney World, which is all of the resort hotels. So we're going to kick it off with one of the original resorts, but not the original resort, but one of our favorites, and probably the classiest resort at all of Walt Disney World. Welcome to Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. We're actually sitting right next to the spa right now, and in front of the Disney Vacation Club building. Many of the deluxe resorts have a Disney Vacation Club building, which for those of you who don't know is more villa-style resort accommodations for those who have a DVC membership or those who want to pay a little extra to have some of the comforts of home. A lot of these rooms will have full kitchens and multiple bedrooms. Definitely great if you have a larger party or you're just going on a long trip and you really want to feel like you've got all the comforts and amenities that you have at home. But want to take us through the theme of the Grand Floridian?
Yes, so the Grand Floridian is a Victorian style hotel. So you're going to walk into this beautiful building over here, or the main lobby down there. It is a white building with a red top. You walk into the lobby and it is just gigantic.
Yes.
You walk in and you are just transported to this beautiful, elegant scene, and oftentimes there's a band playing or a piano player in the lobby, and things just feel really classy and elegant.
Yes.
Everything at the Grand is very posh and beautiful.
Yes. So it's themed after the Victorian era and that kind of turn of the century affluent period where people were going on these elaborate vacations to warmer climates, and so the lobby is just this multi-story celebration of that affluent, posh culture.
Yes.
And sometimes there's an orchestra, like Jess said, and sometimes there's a piano player. Sometimes it's Uncle Jesse from Full House. If you've ever seen that episode, this is the resort they were staying at.
This is the one.
And as you walk around, you'll notice that this resort hotel is actually spread out into multiple buildings. So each building houses different guest rooms, and there is actually a marina where you can take boats out. And there is actually, in addition to monorail access to the Magic Kingdom, there is also a boat launch that takes you over to the Magic Kingdom. And very recently, a walkway has opened. Oh, speaking of the monorail, we're like Vanaway.
I know.
There's actually a walkway between this resort and the Magic Kingdom. So you have a lot of different options for getting to the Magic Kingdom. And that's definitely a draw for a lot of people.
Yes. This is considered a Magic Kingdom resort or a monorail resort. So a lot of people will do, we've mentioned before, like a monorail bar crawl or a monorail resort hop. So this is definitely one of the stops on that route.
Yes.
So when you walk outside of the Grand Floridian, you go out into the beautiful courtyard in the back of the hotel. They have beautiful pools. They have a view of the Magic Kingdom. When there's fireworks going off, if you sit near the quick service Gasparilla Island Grill, you can see the fireworks in the castle. It's very, very magical. And I would say a huge highlight of this resort is the restaurant selection.
Yes.
Because there are a lot here, and we'll go through them each really quickly, like our favorite ones.
Yes. I would say recent favorite, because it has kind of evolved, is Enchanted Rose, which is, we're going to have to go there later.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Okay.
We're going to go. We're going to go. Enchanted Rose is a lounge and bar that actually has a great menu full of awesome food selections. They have truffle fries that I love. There's a flatbread that's delicious, lobster mac and cheese,
Sliders that are good.
a delicious charcuterie board, just delicious food and awesome drink options. A lot of definitely like French-inspired martinis, drinks like that. So if you're looking for a beautifully crafted cocktail or some bites to share, the entire venue is themed after the live-action Beauty and the Beast film, which of course, like, as soon as they announced that, I was like, ugh! I think I was here like the day it opened. It is gorgeous. The details are incredible. You'll find some different elements from the film, and just the colors and the textures, everything is so beautiful, and it is 100% my favorite spot here.
It's delightfully surprising how good the food is,
Yes.
and of course the atmosphere.
Yes.
So let's see, when it comes to my favorite restaurant at the Grand Floridian, I think I would say Narcoossee's is my favorite.
That was my second one.
Oh my goodness. So Narcoossee's is a signature restaurant. It is right along the water. They have beautiful views of the Magic Kingdom and the lake out in the back. The food is delicious. There's a lot of seafood, but there's a lot of non-seafood as well. I would say highlights for me, number one, the bread they serve is very good. I'm a big bread person. So
we love a carb.
I'm always gonna take note of where the best bread is on property.
Yes.
And then
The almond crusted cheesecake.
almond crusted cheesecake.
Yes.
That was a Disboard's favorite back in the
Was,
day,
and for good reason.
and it withstands its title as a favorite.
Yeah.
Monorail red.
Classic monorail red. Is that like when you think of the monorail, you think of monorail red?
Yeah,
Me too.
that's the one. But yes, the almond crusted cheesecake is an absolute must at Narcoossee's. Narcoossee's is beautiful, especially if you want to do like a date night. I think that is very romantic and very it's beautiful.
Yes,
I love
if you've got something special to celebrate, for sure. It is considered a signature restaurant, so it is a little, more upscale. There's a bit of a dress code, not too heavy, but like dress up a little bit.
No flip flops, no
ripped
t-shirt
jeans,
and shorts,
things like that. But it is very much inspired by like the Gulf of Florida, so you're gonna find a lot of like Florida-inspired flavors, dishes, key lime, seafood, all that good stuff. And it is kind of a round restaurant, so you get like panoramic views of Magic Kingdom, and there is like a porch area outside that you can step out onto, so when there is fireworks, if you want to remain at your table and you have a window side table, that's great. They'll pipe in the music, but if not, you can actually step outside onto like the balcony area and watch the fireworks right across the water.
Yes.
So
next restaurant.
some other restaurants we'll just run through really quickly because we have a lot of resorts to get to.
Each one.
Narcoossee's and Enchanted Rose are definitely our favorites.
Yes.
But the most upscale restaurant at the Grand Floridian is Victoria and Albert's. It has won Michelin stars, AAA, Diamond awards, every award you can think of in the restaurant industry. This restaurant has probably won. The chefs are highly acclaimed. You can even book like a chef's table package where you get to sit at the chef's table and they'll serve a kind of like a set prefix menu of chef's choice. It's very seasonally inspired and very pricey. And you can even add a wine selection for a wine pairing to go with each course as well. So that's definitely like a 50th anniversary, like wedding, like a really big celebration splurge.
Yes.
But if you want to dial it back a little, there is also a restaurant called Citricos, which is a signature restaurant as well, located in the main lobby building of the Grand Floridian. That one is definitely very like Florida fresh, I think inspired, but upscale as well.
Beautiful views of the resort there.
Yes.
Their short rib is very good. I always remember that. But their menu does change very often because it is a signature restaurant. They're always updating and adding new things.
The signature restaurants tend to be the most seasonally inspired. And because it's Florida, there's so much local produce to be found at all times of the year. So if you're looking to spend a little less money but still have an experience that feels upscale, the Grand Floridian Cafe is table service at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the food there is delicious. The atmosphere is just charming and bright and open and airy. And consistently have had a great meal there. They have a press pot of coffee in the morning, which if you're a coffee drinker, you love.
My favorite meal at Grand Floridian Cafe is definitely breakfast. The Florida pancakes are amazing if they still have those on the menu. But yeah, like you said, I always think of the word charming when I think of Grand Floridian
Very
Cafe.
charming. And speaking of charming, my actual favorite place to eat at the Grand Floridian, which I can't count right now because it's not currently open, but one of my favorite traditions with my mom that I love to do is the tea room at the Grand Floridian. Of course, a resort like this that's set in the Victorian era has to have a tea room. It is the Garden View Tea Room, and it is tricky to get a reservation because it's a very small space. Hopefully post-COVID it reopens, but it is your perfect afternoon tea. There are scones, there are little tea sandwiches. It's a lot of food. We've talked about it before in our top things to do at Walt Disney World without a theme park ticket episode. So if you listen to that, you'll get the full rundown. But it's a delicious, again, charming little afternoon, and you get to kind of dress up and feel fancy. And it's great for guys too. My stepdad goes and he has a great time. So
yes,
it's pretty cool.
And then additionally, when the word charming comes to mind, I think of Prince Charming, and we have to also talk about...
I forgot about this place.
I know, we have to talk about 1900 Park Fair. So again, post-COVID, I'm not really sure what the operation is over there right now, but 1900 Park Fair is typically a character meal, and it has some really unique characters comparatively to the other parks. For dinner, it is the friends from Cinderella, so Cinderella, Prince Charming, the stepsister, stepmother. Very beautiful. So if you can't get into Cinderella's Royal Table or Akershus, this is a great option for those Princess Cinderella fans. And in the morning, it is a lot of like English inspired characters. So like Alice in Wonderland, Pooh and Tigger, Mary Poppins. So, and the food is great. It's a classic Disney buffet, but they have a lot of options. And
and a few unique things just to this resort, like strawberry
soup. Yes.
Think it sounds weird. It's delicious.
Yeah.
So that's a great option as well if you want to meet a lot of characters, but you don't want to go to the parks that day, or you just feel like pigging out at a Disney buffet.
Yeah, it's a super fun one.
So that about covers it for the Grand Floridian. So many dining options here, 2 different pools to choose from, DVC, not DVC, even to just visit and grab a reservation at one of the restaurants. Have the chance to walk around the resort is so peaceful.
My gem for Grand Floridian is at Christmas time, make sure to put this one on your list because they do create a giant gingerbread house in the lobby as well as have a larger than life Christmas tree. We do talk about this more in the Disney Christmas episode, but I think out of all the special things at the Grand, that always comes to mind for me.
Absolutely. It's gorgeous. So we might as well walk to our next resort since it is within walking distance from here. If you take the path along Seven Seas Lagoon and the beach, there is a lighted pathway over to my favorite Walt Disney World Resort Hotel, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. This is a completely different atmosphere. you are going to be transported to the South Seas and this very kind of like bygone 70s feeling tropical getaway. And
you don't feel like you're at Disney sometimes.
You don't feel like you're at Disney. The only reminder is that when you are walking along the beach at the Polynesian Resort, you get a direct sight line to the Magic Kingdom and Cinderella Castle, which makes it an incredible place to watch fireworks, especially because they do pipe the music in. And while you're walking along the beach, you might notice some interesting little houses on the water.
Along the water are the bungalows, which are DVC units. They are like mini houses, essentially, all lining along the water. They have 2 bedrooms, a huge living area. It's great for a bigger family if you want to have a little bit more space. It's definitely a splurge again, but the fireworks views are impeccable.
Yes.
So,
because you can see them from your own private balcony right on Seven Seas Lagoon. You can't really beat a view like that.
yeah, so that's definitely a special experience. Like if you have something you want to celebrate, or you happen to have a lot of extra DVC points that year, that's
like a lot.
the one. Yeah.
Or like a whole lot. Or you can combine with other families and kind of go in on it. But all of the guest rooms at the Polynesian are beautiful. It also includes DVC. 3 of the longhouses are dedicated to Disney Vacation Club villas. The rest are the regular guest rooms. Just like the Grand Floridian, the buildings are spread out, so it really gives a sense of being in a village. You're walking through around these longhouses with all of this lush tropical foliage, palm trees, hibiscus flowers, just absolutely gorgeous every time of year, every time of day. There are 2 pools. One of them is the Oasis pool, which is a 0 entry, just kind of like a circular quiet pool. The other main pool is the one with the big volcano water slide, which is a big draw for kids. And that pool is also 0 entry, and it's great because it gives also those amazing views of the Magic Kingdom. So some guests will hang out in the pool and watch the fireworks at the same time, which to me sounds like ultimate vacation mode.
Talk about a prime experience.
I want like a pineapple drink in my hand.
Yes.
Speaking of pineapple drinks, one of the biggest draws about the Polynesian is, again, like the Grand Floridian, all of the incredible dining options. But unlike the Grand Floridian, you'll find that the flavors here are more along the lines of Pan-Asian, Pacific Islander, South Seas flavors, which I love. And that extends into the adult beverages. Now, arguably the most fun bar on Disney property is Trader Sam's, which is not currently open, but I am counting down the days until its arbitrary reopening date, because Trader Sam's, as we mentioned in our Magic Kingdom episode, is themed after Adventureland. The bar is alive with tiki gods and singing birds and rain and thunder and weather, and it is just so immersive and so fun. It's the place you take your friends and family who have never been there before, because it's just going to be a good time for everyone.
Or your favorite skipper.
Or your favorite skipper.
Lots of, thank you.
The drinks are so unique and phenomenal. They all come in different cups. Sometimes they come in a souvenir cup you get to take home with you. There are some food options that are really delicious, and you can sit indoors or outdoors. The outdoor vibe is definitely more relaxed. You're sitting on a patio surrounded by tiki torches and sometimes a live ukulele player around sunset. It's absolutely beautiful, super fun. And if Trader Sam's is still closed and you're here sometime soon, you can head up in the 2nd floor of the lobby to the Tambu Lounge, where you can still find some great tropical drinks, including a Lapu Lapu, which is actually a drink that's served into an entire hollowed-out pineapple. And if that doesn't scream vacation, I do not know what does. But the real draw about the Tambu Lounge is you can order the Ohana bread pudding from the bar. And you don't have to make the reservation, eat your weight in noodles, even though that's really fun, or spend a whole ton of money just to go for the dessert. So I think that that's a great option.
Yes.
But you might be wondering,
what is Ohana?
What is Ohana? Tell us about Ohana, Jess.
And let me tell you, Ohana is a dining experience. So Ohana is one of the most sought after reservations at Walt Disney World, but for good reason. Pre-COVID, I will tell you what we know about it. We don't know what's going to happen from here on out.
Yes.
But Ohana is a family style eating experience. You're going to start with your beginning courses, your bread, your salad, of course, but then the servers are going to bring out large sticks, like giant kebabs of different meats. So they're freshly grilled chicken, steak, pork, and they're going to put them on your plate. There's a big bowl of delicious noodles, which we love the noodles. They're so good. Of course, some vegetables to balance everything out.
Yep.
And then you do finish out your very, very dense meal with one of the most delectable desserts on property, which is the Ohana bread pudding. It's so good. It has like a caramel sauce you would pour over top of it with bananas Foster and ice cream. And it's really good. Again, a Disboard's favorite from back in the day. I feel like we're talking about a lot of those today. But those are the foods that really stand out over the course of time. So Ohana is so much fun. And if you are there around fireworks time, you can see it out the windows. They will pipe in the music. They often have a performer there. She might be doing the hula or singing some songs. And also, Ohana is open for breakfast, typically during normal operation. It is a character meal for breakfast only, not for dinner. But for breakfast, it would be like Mickey and Pluto in their Hawaiian gear.
And Lilo and
Stitch. I get distracted by the monorail every time. I hope you guys are enjoying the true, authentic sounds of this location. But anyways, so Ohana is tons of fun. We love it for dinner the most. Breakfast is also fun, but it's great. And speaking of breakfast, we have to talk about Kona, my favorite breakfast location on Walt Disney World property.
It might be mine too.
Which is Kona Cafe.
Kona Cafe. It's right next door to Ohana, and if you don't feel like having a character breakfast, head on over to Kona. I would say Kona breakfast, Ohana dinner is the way to go. At lunch and dinner at Kona, you will find similar Pan-Asian flavors, sushi, teriyaki, all sorts of things like that. Absolutely delicious. Definitely the highlight of lunch and dinner is the pineapple coconut bread with the macadamia butter.
The bread!
Of all the breads at Walt Disney World, this one's got to be top 5.
Oh, absolutely. I had an obsession with that bread back in the day. If you used to read our trip reports, I think I
had a spiritual awakening.
I almost had a whole post dedicated to how good this bread is. It's so soft. It has macadamia nut.
Rightfully so.
Butter. And the butter. And, oh, it's so good, guys.
But speaking of macadamia nuts, if you go for breakfast, there are some cult favorites that we want to address. Now, the cult favorite is not my favorite. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but if you've ever heard of Tonga toast, it is basically half a loaf of bread that is rolled in cinnamon sugar, stuffed with bananas, and deep fried.
I like it, but it's definitely an indulgence.
I think I've had like 1 or 2 bites of it in my life, and I'm just like, I don't get it. But what I do get are the macadamia pineapple pancakes. They are chock full of delicious macadamia nuts and covered in a pineapple compote, served with macadamia nut butter. And here's the catch. You ask for the strawberry sauce that comes with the Tonga toast normally, but they will give it to you with the pancakes. Pineapple, strawberry, macadamia nut, buttery, pancakey goodness. Like, do I need to go on? I'm just gonna go.
Highly recommend Kona. If you have a sweet tooth, Tonga toast is delicious. If you want more of a pancake experience,
still sweet though.
Still very sweet. Depends on how desserty you want to get for breakfast. You really can't go wrong at Kona. And if those two both sound too intimidating for you, they do have more regular breakfast options as well. But those are the highlights that we want to mention.
And the pressed pot of coffee here is also quite delicious. Better than the Grand Floridian one, in my opinion. I'm going to have to insert some coffee culture as
People
we go.
like coffee. We got to talk about it. So
that's
anything else at the Polynesian?
There is, again, Dole Whips are no longer exclusive to Magic Kingdom people. Downstairs, just outside the lobby, is a sweet little kiosk connected to the lobby right next to the quick service called the Pineapple Lanai, where you can get a Dole Whip all the time. I think they're open until like 11 p.m. It's great.
And again, I will say this every time, but my favorite Dole Whip combination is the pineapple swirled with the vanilla to balance the tart pineapple flavor with the sweet vanilla.
But if you are dairy-free, like I try to be most of the time, the pineapple Dole Whip, not the vanilla, just the pineapple, and some of the other fruit flavors you have to ask, but the pineapple is definitely 100% dairy-free. So that's an awesome way to enjoy an ice cream treat without feeling sick later. So I think that about wraps up the Polynesian.
We're going to take the monorail over to our next resort.
The first Walt Disney World Resort hotel that opened in 1971 with the Magic Kingdom. It is probably the most, like, 80s futuristic style resort hotel. It is unlike any other hotel on property we're talking about.
quintessential Disney.
It's classic Disney
Yeah.
in every way. Disney's Contemporary Resort.
You can walk from the Contemporary to the Magic Kingdom on a certain pathway that leads you directly to the entrance.
Huge
Very
plus.
quick. Huge plus. Of course, the monorail station is really, you know, iconic in there. It's
Yes.
right in the middle of the Grand Concourse. And let's see, yeah, the Contemporary, it has like vibes, you know.
It does.
It
is
really
very
does.
classic Disney. It just screams like retro Disney everywhere you look. And the building that was constructed right next to it is the DVC building, which is called Bay Lake Tower. Same aesthetic, same vibe, just feels a little bit more modern, feels a little bit more upscale. In that building you will find exclusively DVC Villa Resort rooms, and on the very top of Bay Lake Tower, a lounge that is exclusive to DVC members called Top of the World, which offers you panoramic views inside and out of the Magic Kingdom. Great drinks, great food.
Yes.
It's not open right now, but if you are a DVC member, that is a must-do, especially when those fireworks come back at
Yes.
Magic Kingdom.
Contemporary does offer some of the best views, I think,
Yes.
of the Magic Kingdom.
And of Bay Lake behind it.
Yes.
Yes.
So, at the Contemporary Resort, there are, of course, we're going to talk about the restaurants. I have to say, I think the food at the resorts is very underrated. So, we want to make sure you guys know that there are really good options.
Yes.
So,
Especially if you're not thrilled with the idea of eating at Magic Kingdom, which we're not really either. The Contemporary is a great option for getting out of the parks during the heat of the day and maybe heading over to somewhere like the Wave for
Yes.
some lunch.
that's exactly what I was going to mention.
I love the Wave.
So the Wave does have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The gnocchi at dinner at the Wave is my favorite thing to order from the menu at any of the 3 meals. It's definitely a highlight. And they do sort of a brunch.
Yes, so
for-
pre-COVID there would be a buffet option as well as a la carte options. Right now it's just a la carte, but there are some unique options. They actually do sweet potato pancakes with pecan butter at breakfast time. Again, really great coffee options. The cool thing about the Wave, it is very sustainably driven. A lot of things on the menu are organic or sustainably farmed fish, local vegetables and produce, so it's really awesome if you are someone who's interested in eating that way, especially when you are on vacation or, you know, like educating your family in that way. That's a really cool way to like expose yourself to that. Even the wine list and the coffee, a lot of it is like fair trade, sustainably sourced. Their soups change all the time. They're phenomenal, always like really fresh and delicious. They always have a sustainable like salmon on the menu that's really yummy. They have these like bao buns that are really good at lunchtime, cauliflower tacos, so many delicious things. I can't
Yes.
say enough.
So if you're
about the
looking
Wave.
for a good variety, the Wave has that for you.
Yes.
And then as you head upstairs, there is a character meal during normal operating times called Chef Mickey's, which has been a buffet in the past. We'll see what happens moving forward.
It's family style right now.
Yes. So Chef Mickey's is your classic Mickey and Friends character meal. So if you have, you know, little ones or just big Disney fans, it is very classic Disney character dining experience. Fab 5 characters, lots of dancing and fun music, and
Waving your napkin around.
yeah, it's kind of like a retro character dining experience.
Yeah.
It feels like
Definitely fun if you have kids.
yes. So then
Other than that, there is a quick service restaurant called Contempo Cafe. Some delicious options as well. They're most known for all their unique desserts. They always do some fun cupcakes that are seasonal, that are really delicious. So you always have to check when you're here, because it's probably something different from what you've seen on Instagram or something recently. They change it a lot. But I think the most notable restaurant at the Contemporary is California Grill, which is the restaurant on the very, very top floor of the A-frame Contemporary Tower. It offers, again, those panoramic views of the Magic Kingdom. You can step outside to watch the fireworks, but if you are lucky enough to score a window side table, you will experience the music being piped in. You're noticing a theme here with these monorail resorts. And you can enjoy a very upscale signature dining experience that is full of fresh California flavor. There's sushi, again with the sustainability and the fresh seasonal produce. The wine list is phenomenal if you are into wine. It's just a really upscale, unique, special experience. If we're done
So-
listening to elevator music, we could head out the back of the Contemporary, walk down the dock, and hop aboard a boat to our next resort.
One of my top favorites.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
If I'm choosing where to stay, this is going to be in my top tier of choices.
Yeah.
It is Disney's Wilderness Lodge Resort.
Do you feel cozy already?
It is themed after the Pacific Northwest. You walk into the lobby and there's just all this beautiful woodwork and it's built up very, very tall. The lobby is so cozy. You're sitting next to a fireplace in the cozy winters.
There is a fireplace.
And there is a fireplace.
With rocking chairs, people. Come on.
Yes. You cannot beat this resort. You cannot beat the theming. There's so many highlights of Wilderness Lodge.
Yes.
So the lobby being number one.
The
grounds being number two. There's so many different types of places you could stay within the resort. There's the ones within the building. There's the ones looking out towards the pool. There are the villas, of course, which are a little bit out to the side. And then there are, like we were talking about, the bungalows at the Polynesian. There are cabins at Wilderness Lodge that are actually better, in my opinion, than the bungalows.
Yep. Agreed.
Not only because they feel a little bit more spacious and they're a little bit more secluded.
They're cozy and remote.
They feel like an HGTV show come to life.
Oh my gosh, it's like an HGTV dream home.
It seriously is.
And it's the size of a home.
It's the size of a home, and there's a hot tub on your back porch, like a personal hot tub for you.
That alone sells it. Mic drop.
If I had no limitations on where I could stay at Walt Disney World, I would pick that 100%. It is quite pricey, but quite incredible.
Throw your stimmy at that thing one night. You get one night on that.
Maybe.
Stimmy.
Maybe.
I think.
But
That's insane.
But yeah. So anyways, it's incredible.
Yes.
If you ever have the chance to stay there, like
Yes.
once in a lifetime dream opportunity.
Yes.
So
there are two pool areas at Wilderness Lodge. There is the main pool that is part of the main hotel building. There is also another pool that was newer, built with the new DVC section that they built, Boulder Ridge, a few years ago. And as you walk along the water, which is Bay Lake, there are all these kind of like trees and little pathways and little like boardwalks. But there is a geyser, an actual legitimate geyser called Fire Rock Geyser, at the edge of the resort right on Bay Lake that actually goes off every like 20 minutes or so, every half hour.
Yeah.
And it is incredible. It's so high. You can hear it from everywhere. Everyone sort of stops and looks like, where is that noise coming from? It is so cool to see. And just as you walk around the resort, there's all these little like hidden landscapes, and there's just this beautiful waterfall as you walk back up toward the main pool and the lobby with those big windows and the waterfall and the foliage and it's just, we keep saying this, but you just don't feel like you're in a theme park area at all. It is absolutely like Pacific Northwest dropped in the middle of Central Florida.
it's incredible.
Now let's talk about food.
Let's talk about food. So I'm gonna start with one of my absolute top favorite places.
Yes, I know what you're gonna say.
On Walt Disney World property, which is Geyser Point, Chef's Kiss. It is like a bar lounge area out in the back along the water, but there's the bar in the middle, and then there's a lot of comfortable seating right around. There's some with little couches, there's some regular tables. It's amazing, and the water's so beautiful. If it's dusk, you can watch the sky change colors. It's so amazing.
And you can watch the electrical water pageant on Bay Lake when it's nighttime. And it's very cute.
So they have a smaller menu, but some pretty good options. The Bison Burger has been one of my favorites ever since they opened. And then they have really good drinks as well. So honestly, if you are looking for like a date night, or if you want to meet up with friends to just have like a casual like get together, like oh, friends are in town or we're meeting up, like it's such a great place to go. They do have TVs there as well, so if there's like a sports game going on, it's a good place to go.
Playoff game there.
Yeah, that's perfect. So seriously, Geyser Point, a lot of people don't really know about it because it is sort of new and it's sort of
tucked away
in the corner, but I'm telling you, it is
delicious.
So worth the trip over there if you're looking for something unique.
I agree. I think my favorite thing there is, I tend to be there around lunchtime sometimes because I tend to have meetings there, but there is a salmon salad that's delicious.
That's very good too.
And my favorite drink there is a black cherry mule. It's like a Moscow Mule, but the vodka is black cherry vodka.
Ooh.
So it is
It's
delicious.
That.
But if you're feeling something a little heartier and you're feeling a little frumpy, a little wild, Whispering Canyon Cafe is going to serve up family style cowboy cooking. We're talking ribs and chicken and corn and beans and all those like backyard cowboy truck stop foods, but Disney-fied and delicious. At breakfast time, that family-style skillet's gonna come with Mickey waffles,
Yes.
scrambled eggs and bacon, all that good stuff. They do have plant-based skillets if you're vegan, so you can have all the deliciousness of that skillet vibe.
Or if you're the opposite of vegan, they do have a carnivore platter as
Yes.
well. So
whatever,
it's really for everyone.
Whatever type of food you eat, they've got it for you. They're notorious for their endless milkshakes, but it is just like classic
All American,
yeah. Like grandma's cooking, and it's a fun time. Pre-COVID, there would be antics and shenanigans and lots of interactive stuff that actually got you up and out of your seat. The servers are always a riot.
Calling for ketchup bottles from across the restaurant.
I don't know if we're doing that now because we're not sharing ketchup
not.
with strangers at the moment, but it's a place that's kind of always available. You can pretty much always snag a reservation any time of day. If you're staying at the resort and you really need like a hearty breakfast before a big day, it's a great option. Or if you just love that kind of food and you want to have a good time with all your family and share a big old skillet with them, you can pretty much always snag a reservation even if it's like a week or two out, so that's a great option. And then other than that, there used to be a signature restaurant that we really loved. It has recently been turned into a family style character meal
with Snow White characters, which is really
it's unique,
kind of cool
because you get to meet the evil queen, Snow White, and
Dopey and Grumpy. It's really cute. They actually turned the restaurant into like an enchanted forest type vibe.
That's cute.
It's really pretty. They have some tree detailing on the top with some twinkly lights. I think they did a really good job with it, and it does add another character experience. And again, the gnocchi was really good there as well. So
clearly, Jess is a gnocchi fan.
I love it, and the desserts were really unique as well.
Well themed.
They were very themed, like an apple-shaped dessert and like Snow White-esque. So
yeah.
If you're a Snow White fan, it's a great place to go. Or if you have little ones who love princesses, it's a lot of fun. So
there it is.
Other than that. Oh, one more mention,
okay,
really quick. At Roaring Fork, the quick service, they have a whole selection of quick service meals, of course, but if you're looking for a sweet treat that I've known and loved for many years, there's the Magic Cookie Bar, which it's like a brick of...
You know what a Magic Cookie Bar is?
Yeah, it has...
coconut, pecans, chocolate, like just caramel. It's those like 7-layer bars. It's got like each layer of like the cookie part, the caramel part, the chocolate part, the coconut part, the nuts. It's like you just bite into it and you get a lot of different textures and flavors, and it's just like one of those things you keep going back for.
Yeah, so that's a highlight at Wilderness Lodge. And I think other than that,
let's hop on a boat.
Hop on a boat.
We could walk too.
We have another wilderness.
People get these two resorts confused.
Yes.
Let's clarify. The big building is the lodge. Fort Wilderness is the campground. And we're gonna head over there. We're gonna take a boat on over there on Bay Lake. This campground is huge. And I think the real draw, if you don't own a camper or a RV, or you aren't a tent camper, which if you couldn't tell by the everything about us, we're not really tent campers. I could do like a night, but after that I'd be like, I need a shower. I need a real shower. There are cabins that sleep up to 6 people that I think are a pretty good bang for your buck because they tend to be less expensive than the DVC resorts if you are not a DVC member, but you still need an accommodation that's bigger. If you have a car with you, if you want kind of that outdoorsy feel, if you like to ride bikes, if you like to fish, swim, be out in nature, this is an awesome option because you just forget that you're near a theme park entirely.
Just do take note, if you are there for like your Disney vacation, the transportation does take quite a while because it is so large and the bus stops are far away from the cabins oftentimes.
Rent a golf cart.
Yes.
To get around the resort. And I would say this is a great resort to have a car at. We've talked about this in our what to do without a theme park ticket episode, so definitely take a listen to that for some more seasonal
We're gonna link that one for you.
Pieces to this resort. But I really feel like we should just highlight the most important part of this resort.
Let's do it.
Which we've done before, so I don't think we need to get too in depth because you need to go back and listen to that episode. The Hoop-De-Doo musical review.
You can't beat it. You go to dinner, you get a show. The dinner they serve, fried chicken, ribs, cornbread, mashed potatoes, corn, and strawberry shortcake. The characters are so funny, so interactive. It's all so good. They also have unlimited sangria, beer and wine.
Sangria.
It's just delicious.
Spiritual. It's a great time.
The storytelling is pretty funny. They go through like the story of Davy Crockett and all these crazy antics. They get the audience involved. It's a full production.
Yes.
You don't want to miss this. When they bring it back, like,
it is.
I'm ready to go.
There's a reason it's the longest running stage show at Walt Disney World. The singing is phenomenal. There's dancing, there's live music. It's just fun for all of the generations you can pack into Pioneer Hall.
Yeah.
It's a great time. And it does get a little festive at Christmas time too. So don't miss it. Absolutely worth taking the boat over from Magic Kingdom, or if you're staying at the resort, drive your little golf cart over there. Absolutely worth it.
Yeah. The Fort Wilderness grounds, it feels a lot more like, again, like retro Disney.
Yes.
Like they have little things going on all the time, like lots of recreational activities. You can go horseback riding there. They have kayaks there. They do a little Chippendale campfire with the
campfire
movie.
sing-along.
It's just a pure American like experience.
Yeah, it's like American summertime camping.
So
it reminds me a lot
pure.
of like my childhood, because that was like we didn't do vacations. We went camping. So if you're an outdoorsy family and you love kayaking and swimming and fishing and horseback riding and biking and campfires and s'mores and all that, like it's a great way to balance out your time in those like sensory overload theme parks with something that feels like really nostalgic and familiar, and like a great way to slow down and connect with your loved ones. It's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like Fort Wilderness has those fans or like
it's like
guests
a cult
that stay over and over and over again,
and it's for good reason.
For good reason. It's a phenomenal resort. Anyways, I think that wraps up the Wildernesses.
That wraps up all the Magic Kingdom area resort hotels. So we will move it. To quote Stacy, we'll get on that monorail and we'll hightail it on over to Epcot.
Yes. So let me just preface this by saying,
I'm gonna go take a drink of water and let Jess talk about the Epcot resorts. Bye, guys.
I am exceptionally passionate about the Epcot resorts. So why don't we start at the Boardwalk? The Boardwalk is one of the Epcot resorts, and it is themed classic carnival, like American style boardwalk and a pier. So
Atlantic City.
The Luna Park pool is out back, and it has a really fun slide that's kind of shaped like an old style wooden roller coaster. It looks like that from the outside, but it's a water slide. It used to be a clown slide. They just did change it over to Mickey and Friends, so it is no longer the clown slide, rest in peace, but that was kind of funny. But that was there. They actually have a really good Powerball salad. This is very random, but I just learned this week at the pool bar.
Yes.
Which it's kale salad with grilled chicken, cranberry, chickpeas, apple. Like one of the best finds I've found.
I'm back.
Ever. So yeah, big fan of the pool out back. I kind of skipped right over the lobby because I just got too excited to go to the pool, so we can talk about the lobby a little bit too.
Lobby's really cute.
The lobby's super cute. It is like the Atlantic City style. There's like carousel horse decor.
It's a little bit Victorian. It almost has like a reminiscence of the Grand Floridian on like a more accessible scale, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's some really funny quirks about the Boardwalk. There's these little creepy chairs that sit by the fireplace.
So creepy. If you know, you know. If you don't know, go to the fireplace.
Yeah.
Oh.
They entertain me. And the Boardwalk villas are on one side, and then the Boardwalk Inn is on another side. So again, this is a DVC resort with DVC option and non-DVC option.
Yes.
So then you're gonna go down the stairs, out the lobby, and down into the main courtyard area, and that is when you're going to approach the actual boardwalk itself along the water. So
many
where
fun
do we
things
even
down here.
where do we even start with this?
So many fun things down here. I think we should highlight the best parts.
Yep.
I think the cool thing about the Boardwalk is in pre-COVID times, it really did feel like an immersive experience where you were like in a bygone Atlantic City with street performers. So they'd be juggling acts and magicians and mimes and all sorts of fun things to watch. And then if you head down to the left side of the Boardwalk, there is the Atlantic Dance Hall where you could go and have like kind of a dance club but Disney version night out. But the best nighttime entertainment, I think, is Jelly Roll's Dueling Piano Bar. We've talked about this again in that What to Do Without a Theme Park Ticket episode. Go back and listen for the full rundown on Jelly Rolls. But as Jess said, Dueling Piano Bar, amazingly talented musicians. They do take requests. People are dancing. People are having a good time. You're eating free popcorn. Like, the whole vibe is just so, like, nostalgic
so fun.
and whimsical, I think, is the best word you can use to describe the boardwalk overall. And that definitely extends into Jelly Rolls. So whenever it reopens, I will be there eating popcorn, having a good time, requesting some T-Swift.
And Mamma Mia.
So
they have a gift shop as well. It's called Screen Door.
It's huge.
Gifts. It's really big. I think that's a really fun gift shop just to walk through.
Yeah, and the boardwalk has a lot of unique to the boardwalk merchandise.
Yeah,
like a lot
really
of boardwalk themed merchandise, which you can find there, which is kind of cool if you're a cult boardwalk fan.
Yeah, like us.
Yeah.
Then you're going to move along to the other side. Flying Fish is first. That is the signature restaurant on the boardwalk. It is currently closed.
They recently renovated the restaurant. The interior is very modern, upscale, a lot of seafood dishes. Definitely just like a delicious, again, like date night, nice night out, celebrating something. The menu changes very seasonally. It's delicious. But next door to that is a fun vibe. And Jess and I went there together, actually.
Yes.
We had a grand old time.
Abracadabra is the bar next door. It is like magician themed, but in a very elegant and classy
It's
type
like
way.
1930s magician, like a little bit Gatsby.
Very deep reds and golds and
dark tones, dark woods. Yes.
Yeah.
And the drinks definitely extend there. They're definitely
so cool.
Like speakeasy style drinks. Lots of bourbon going on there.
Yes.
Yes. Lots of dark liquors happening here.
Yeah. That is open right now.
Yes.
During everything that's going on. Oh my God, that basketball. You might hear basketball in the background, guys.
There's a nugget playing basketball back here, so we're gonna let him practice, but if you're hearing a basketball, that's what it is.
Yeah. Moving on from the Abracadabra, there is just a little walkway indoors, and then you're into the next restaurant, which is a favorite of ours, and I'm going to let Kristen talk about it because she's has a special,
I've just been there so many
special heart connection to this restaurant.
Me too. Trattoria al Forno. In pre-COVID times, this restaurant was a character breakfast and then a regular, just a la carte sit-down dinner. Right now, it's a la carte for both meals. The food is phenomenal. At dinner time, you're definitely going to find a typical, like, Italian menu, which we love. And their wine list is great. The pasta's house-made. Everything that we've ever had there is delicious. That cheese bread we had that one time.
The garlic, it's like
a pull-apart bread.
Yeah. I got it the other. We went back and I got it again. It wasn't even on the menu, so ask for it.
I think the time we went, they were like, "Do you want this?" And we were like, "Well, yeah."
Yeah. So the garlic pull apart bread. So
again
good.
With the breads.
We love bread.
It's just our brand.
And I always get chicken parm there too, and you can't go wrong with chicken
it's
parm.
Classic. Yeah. I think I had like a meatball polenta thing there once. It was so good. But at breakfast time, hopefully post-COVID times because it was so magical, was a character breakfast. It was all you can eat. You did order off a menu, but you can order more than one entree. They bring pastries to your table. You order an entree. If you're really feeling hungry, you can order two if you want to do a little like sweet and savory or just share with the people you're with. There are bellinis and mimosas if you're feeling brunchy. It's delicious food. There are some like thick fluffy pancakes that are themed after Tangled with the Tangled sun on them. They're like those thick like almost Japanese style, but not quite pancakes. There's like a polenta and like Sunday gravy. If you know what Sunday gravy is, I don't need to say anything more. If you don't, Google it. There's like this polenta with Sunday gravy and sausage and eggs. And so you can have savory, you can have sweet, or both. And the best part about this restaurant is that the food is themed after the characters you will see, which are some characters you can't even see in the parks. And that's awesome. You get to meet Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, which it's the only place on regular, daily operations that you can find Flynn Rider, and Prince Eric and Ariel on her human legs, which you can't see her anywhere in the parks on her human legs unless you find her at a dining location where she has decided to hang out in the human world. So that's pretty special. They're really fun. The characters are interacting with each other. Obviously, like Rapunzel and Flynn, Eric and Ariel are always like very cute together, and they get to kind of banter with each other as they walk around. And because the restaurant is so small, I'm gonna give you a little secret. the characters get to spend so much time with you because they have less guests that they need to see. And it's kind of like when you're at a wedding and the bride and groom have to go around and see every one of their guests. If you have a smaller, more intimate wedding, you get to spend more time with all the guests that you're really excited to see that came to your wedding. Think of it like that with character dining. The bigger the restaurant, the less time you're going to have with the characters. So that's
Good
something
tip.
to factor in when you're picking your character meal. Trattoria is one of the smaller restaurants, so you'll get a lot more time with the characters, and it's just always a ton of fun. There are little parades that the kids get involved with as well.
Yeah, so book your reservation early since it is a smaller restaurant.
Yes.
And then I think one of the other things to mention on the boardwalk is that there is a pizza window, which I think that pizza is some of the best I've found at Disney for being a pizza person.
And the Boardwalk Bakery.
And the Boardwalk Bakery, that's the other one we want to mention.
The unique thing about the Boardwalk Bakery is that a lot of the bakeries around Walt Disney World are kind of housed in a place and then the baked goods are brought to those places. But at the Boardwalk Bakery, everything is actually made right there in the back bakery kitchen on site. So all of those baked goods are really fresh and delicious. And if you go in the morning for that croissant or a bagel or something like that, like you can't beat that in the morning and just walk around the boardwalk and have a coffee and a croissant or something. So
yeah,
that's a great option.
They have some really pretty desserts in there too.
If you're looking for a treat to share.
Yeah, like we used to go there a lot for cupcakes.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, you can't go wrong. Lots of sweets, lots of sandwiches. It's very good. So
we'll walk around Crescent Lake.
Yes,
And the other side.
you do have the opportunity to walk to Epcot from the boardwalk, as well as the other two resorts we're going to talk about shortly. And that is one of the major perks of staying at an Epcot resort, because you get to walk right into the back of Epcot to the International Gateway, which leads right into the United Kingdom Pavilion in World Showcase. So keep that in mind if you're trying to decide what area to choose your resort in when you're booking your stay. I think you get the most bang for your buck, because if you're paying for that deluxe, but you get that sort of convenience anyway, it's like, you know, double whammy. It's amazing.
Wham, wham. It's all wham.
It's all wham.
You can walk to the back entrance of Epcot, and you can also walk to Hollywood Studios from any of these three Epcot resorts. Or if you're not feeling like walking, or if you have someone in your party that can't really walk too far, there are boat launches from Boardwalk and from the Yacht and Beach Club that you can take to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So it's a really great hub for getting to 2 out of the 4 parks super easily. But we'll head on over to the other side of Crescent Lake to the Yacht and Beach Club resorts, which are beautiful sister resort hotels. It is important to mention that the only side that has DVC attached to it is the Beach Club side. The Yacht Club side is actually attached to a convention center. Give us the overview. Give us the rundown.
So I would say, first off, we're going to start off by saying the Yacht Club holds a special place in our hearts. That's where we took our very first trip to Walt Disney World together. That's where the Frumps originated. So shout out to the Yacht Club.
We classed it up.
We really did. So the Yacht Club is the more classy and elegant of the 2 resorts. It is very New England style. Lots of nautical theming within the Yacht Club.
Yes.
And then if you head on over to the Beach Club, that's a lot more like beach vibes, family oriented.
Martha's Vineyard. Like summer. So basically, I'm trying to get this leaf to balance on my nose. I feel like the Yacht Club is like nautical posh country club.
Yes.
We're tired. We are spending the summer
in New England.
In Cape Cod.
Yeah.
But like the ocean side, like beach day side of that same area of New England is the Beach Club. Like the family, we're spending the day at the beach, like ice cream and pastels and that very like nostalgic beach vibe.
Yeah. So the theming is phenomenal on both sides. When you stay at one resort, you can quickly walk to the other. They're essentially connected. She's getting distracted. Well, let's talk about something very important first. Stormalong Bay.
I was going to say, we better be
so
talking about
if you
the pool.
walk out of either of the lobbies, you're going to walk out back and see a gigantic pool.
Over an acre.
It's huge.
It stretches out for over an acre.
And they are very, very strict. You do need to be staying at the Yacht or the Beach Club to get into this pool.
You will have to
need a
scan
wristband.
your room key or your magic band to get in, and then you will be given a wristband that changes color every day so they know that you are staying on property. So
yes,
this is a huge draw. for staying at this resort, especially if you're someone who likes a pool day.
Yes, which we do. So there is a sand bottom pool in a huge portion of this pool, which is incredible.
Yes.
Very unique, very cool. Nowhere else has that. There's like a lazy river area. There's a area where kids can play like in the sand. It kind of goes right into the water.
Like build sand castles.
It's like a beach,
Like a beach.
but at the pool. And of course some hot tubs and a really fun water slide and like a big ship.
It's a shipwreck.
Across the pathway that slides over.
All the way across to the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the best pool day you could imagine on
Yes.
property. So much fun. They have a pool bar there called Hurricane Hannah's if you get hungry. But it's, yeah, and it's very, very lively. Tons of fun. Lots of seating. Just, you cannot go wrong with that
Yes.
pool. It's the best
Agreed.
one on property.
Agreed. And if you've spent all day in the sun and you're just feeling like you want a cool treat, head on over to Beaches and Cream, which is right next to the pool area on the beach club side. You will probably need a reservation because it is a very popular spot.
You definitely will need a reservation.
Yeah, I was being optimistic. You definitely need a reservation. They serve lunch and dinner. It is like your quintessential diner, Americana, burgers, fries, grilled cheese and tomato soup. That's our go-to.
That's the one. Grilled cheese and tomato soup, guys. That's it.
All sorts of classic diner food like that, but the real draw is these massive ice cream sundaes that are just so shareable or so beastable. But the most epic of these is the world famous kitchen sink, which is literally served to you inside of a kitchen sink. It includes every ice cream flavor in the house, every topping in the house, and an entire can of whipped cream. This is one you're going to want to bring your family and share.
They say it serves 4. I would say you could have more people.
I think that's the American estimation.
Yeah.
I would say it actually serves like 8 to 10.
Yeah, it's a lot of ice cream.
Ton of ice cream.
But if you aren't willing to take on that feat, you are able to choose smaller sundaes, and my personal favorite is the No Way
Jose! Me too! Because it's chocolate and peanut butter.
It's chocolate and peanut butter, so you cannot beat that combo.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's the best, I think, dining option at the beach club. But
absolutely.
In normal times, hopefully it reopens again soon, there's a restaurant called Cape May Cafe that is a character breakfast in the morning and a buffet style dinner at night. During breakfast, you can meet Goofy, Minnie, and Donald all in their classic beach wear. They are ready for a day at the beach, and it's, you know, your traditional breakfast fare. It is buffet style though, so, you know, Mickey waffles, pancakes, French toast, scrambled eggs and bacon, all that good stuff to start your day. But at nighttime, it turns into a clam bake. We have gone into hard food coma at this restaurant.
Oh yeah, memories flooding back.
Crab legs, shrimp, scallops, pasta, steak, everything you can imagine that sounds like summertime.
Oreo bonbons.
And the desserts are phenomenal too. There's cheesecake, those little Oreo bonbons, and they're all small desserts, so you can kind of like pick a few on your plate. We both went and on your plate and share them.
We're like squirrels.
We're just shoving Oreo bonbons in our cheeks for winter.
Oh my gosh.
It's delicious. I hope it reopens soon. It's one of the best buffets at Walt Disney World, for sure.
It's so good.
And other than that,
we'll go over to the Yacht Club.
We'll go over to the Yacht Club for the last dining option, I think.
Yeah, so there's 2 restaurants there. There is a signature restaurant called Yachtsman's Steakhouse. Very elegant.
So good.
Very good. I think
a true steakhouse. It's one of those steakhouses.
One of the best steak options
where you'll you'll sit down. They'll bring the Parker House rolls to you, of course, with like the garlic and the butter. Very traditional steakhouse.
Good bread.
It's good bread.
Good bread here.
Drink every time we talk about bread. And then you'll order your steak, whether you choose something small like a filet or something larger like a porterhouse or a ribeye, and it's served tableside. They'll like cut it for you tableside, and then all of the sides are a la carte. So if you want the creamed spinach, that's a classic steakhouse side, or mushrooms or fries or whatever, all of those things are kind of a la carte. So you can sort of build your meal, and I think it's the best way to do it is to like go with someone, get something bigger to share, like the porterhouse or something, and then do like a few of the sides to kind of pass around. And again, phenomenal service. It is a signature restaurant. It's going to feel more upscale.
Dress code again.
Great wine list. It's a really great, like, classy evening if you're into a steakhouse.
Yeah, it's a great night out.
I love when red goes on.
I know. And then the other restaurant we want to mention really quick at the Yacht Club is the Allen Compass, which is the more like regular table service level of dining.
Yep.
They do have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's also a lounge bar area where you can order food there or drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And they have good options there. I have to say I like the menu quite a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like they have a lot of like plant-based options as well if
They
that's
do.
something that you are looking for. And you can pretty much usually get a reservation there even if it's just a few days in advance because it's not as busy as the restaurants in the parks. So
yeah, so that's
the Yacht
overall
and
the
Beach
Yacht and Beach Club. Also, they have really cute gift shops.
Yes.
If you just feel like walking around, I like to do a whole loop of the Epcot resorts, walk into the lobbies. They all have a really nice smell.
Head out to the beach, sit on the swings,
Sit on the
enjoy
swings,
the ambiance.
Look at the lighthouse and see the friendship boats go by.
Yes.
It is one of my favorite places on earth to be.
Agreed.
You just feel at home, and
So
it's
peaceful.
so beautiful and peaceful
Yes.
and lovely.
Agreed.
So
That has been the Epcot resorts.
there we go.
Now let's head on over to the Skyliner, the newest form of transportation at Walt Disney World.
Which you can catch from the back of Epcot. Right before you go in the park, you can walk to the Skyliner from Yacht, Beach, and Boardwalk, and there's a Skyliner station
Right there.
right there.
Or from the front entrance of the Hollywood Studios. But we're going to head over to our next resort, which really doesn't fall into the Epcot category or the Magic Kingdom category. It's sort of popped up right in the center of Walt Disney World, and it has become one of our favorite resorts.
Yes.
Disney's Riviera Resort. This is the newest resort hotel. It is entirely Disney Vacation Club resort. That does not mean you can't stay there. As we approach Disney's Riviera Resort on the Skyliner, you will definitely notice this like grandiose resort feel. I feel like this is one of the resorts that just feels the most like epic when you approach it. It is themed after both the French and Italian Riviera, so you will notice that from everything from the architecture to even the music that's playing. You'll notice some of the songs are familiar to you in melody, but they're being sung in either French or Italian, which is cool, and it just sort of reinforces that, oh, we're not in Florida anymore. We're along the Italian Riviera. You'll notice movie posters around the around the inside of the buildings that are in Italian or French. They're like the original promotional posters from those films, and just the entire grounds, everything from the like little hidden gems inside or the room decor to the grand courtyard outdoors that has this beautiful grassy area flanked by these super tall palm trees. Just feels like a resort stay.
Yes. It honestly, Riviera has a very different feel than every other Disney resort. At first I was like, okay, this kind of like doesn't feel like Disney, but it does. But it has grown on me so much. It is now again in my top tier of places that I would choose to stay.
Yep.
It's very elegant and very classy, but very vacation.
Yes.
The lobby itself is quite small, which I think was very shocking to a lot of
it's
people.
underwhelming, but it's the outdoor part that's really like the staple.
So once you walk down the stairs and you walk outside, and again you're in this huge beautiful courtyard area, and you have some fun lawn games going on. So you'll have like bocce or cornhole, like the recreation people are coordinating those. There are two pools. There's an adult pool on one side, and there's a lot less going on. There's no slide or anything. It's more just the pool and a hot tub. You relax over there. I mean, sometimes kids do go over there, but there's no lifeguard on duty. So at the other pool, that is where all the parties happening. You've got your lifeguards, you've got your water slide, you've got everything
play
over
area
there.
is called Si Vous Play, and isn't
Si
that
Vous Play.
so cute?
That's so cute.
Yes. And there's a beach. Little area with some little like kind of, what are those called? Like those
cabanas,
little, like, cabanas and some Adirondack chairs.
You cannot swim in the water though.
No. Well, there's like a fence up too, so you can't even get in the water. But it is a nice view, and you can see the Skyliner and Caribbean Beach on the other side.
Yes, the views at Riviera are gorgeous. Especially with that Skyliner. That really added a lot to it.
Cool.
The quick service is surprisingly delicious.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It's called Primo Piatto. And
good, Jess.
Thank you. The breakfast option, the lemon blueberry pancakes, are a huge hit over there. People love those. What do you like?
My It's actually my favorite quick service breakfast on property.
Yeah.
It is customizable as far as like what you want to add to it, but basically the base is polenta. I'm obsessed with polenta.
Oh yeah, I got this.
If you grew up in an Italian family, you've eaten a lot of polenta in your life. It's polenta and scrambled eggs, and there's like caramelized onions and sun-dried tomatoes and greens, and you can choose like what protein or what you want to add to it. I usually get the side of fruit, and then I get Italian sausage with it. You can get regular breakfast sausage, but the Italian sausage is so good. So good.
Also, guys, the basketball is going.
The basketball players left. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for
bearing with us.
We're, live at Disney, so we don't have any control over what's going on around us. And then as far as lunch and dinner goes, they have this really good chicken sandwich there that...
Oh, the one that's on focaccia?
Yes, it's very good.
My favorite thing
And
at lunch and dinner
I was going to say...
They have a grilled vegetable skewer. It's
Yes.
kind of like a kebab. It's grilled eggplant and bell peppers, red onions, portobello mushrooms, all on this skewer. It's served with naan bread, Greek yogurt, and tabbouleh. So it's plant-based. It's not vegan because of the yogurt. I'm sure you could ask for it without that if you wanted it to be vegan, but I think that you need like that kind of sauce element. There's some hummus involved as well. It's basically just like very Mediterranean, very fresh, very healthy.
But very filling.
It's
so good.
Yes, it's delicious. So you can either kind of pull the skewer out and make it like a naan sandwich, or I kind of just like fork and knife the entire thing and get a little bit of everything, and it's delicious. It's definitely a quick service with a lot of unique options you don't find at a lot of the other ones.
And good quality.
Find myself just like wanting it, like craving it, especially that polenta with the eggs at breakfast.
Yeah, it's very,
so
very, very delightful. So
honestly, Riviera's dining options are killer across the board. There's not a single one that I do not like, including
Go ahead.
Bar Riva.
Yes.
It's very al fresco. It's indoor, outdoor. There's beautiful tiling. It is the bar that technically serves as the pool bar right across from the main pool. But there are high top tables, regular tables. You can sit at the bar. A lot of the cocktails are unique to the resort and to that style. So if you are like me and you like an Aperol Spritz, there is an Aperol Spritz. They do a Negroni Spritz. They do a lot of Mediterranean style drinks. There's one drink that's like a vodka soda, but it has honey and chamomile tea. That's delicious. And then they have a full menu as well. And notably, the Greek salad there. I know that sounds so boring, but it is like not your standard quick service Greek salad. It is like butter lettuce, actual cubed feta, not like crumbled out of a tub. It's like the feta that comes in the brine that's legit.
Yeah.
They cube up. You can get chicken or shrimp. There's Kalamata olives and artichokes. Like it is like, oh my gosh, it's so delicious and so fresh. I love it.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about that bar is the decor. It's a lot of
gorgeous
blue and white tiling. There's even a little picture of a Disney cruise ship that they painted on the wall.
I want like my shower to be those tiles.
It's so beautiful. It's kind of like Mykonos colors from Greece, actually.
Very Mykonos. On our way up to the other restaurant, there is a little spot right off the lobby called Le Petit Café.
Oh yeah.
Which in the evening serves as a place that serves like cordials and little desserts that are beautiful and aperitifs, but in the daytime it serves as a coffee bar, which is such a welcome addition to a resort if you are a coffee person like me, because it's not just drip coffee. They have full espresso drinks, full bar of espresso drinks. You can get a cortado and Americano. You can get unique drinks that are crafted for the Riviera that are themed. Some things change seasonally, and you can add flavors and get whatever you want in a cappuccino or whatever, and it just feels like they could not do a resort that's themed after the French and Italian Riviera without having espresso, so that's really awesome. But the real draw, all the way up on the 16th floor, 14th floor of the Riviera Resort, is Topolino's Terrace. And if you don't know what Topolino is, Topolino is what they call Mickey Mouse in Italy, and I think it's adorable. And this restaurant is again themed after the French and Italian Riviera. It is very like avant-garde decor, panoramic views of the resort, and in normal times you can see both the Epcot and Hollywood Studios fireworks from this resort.
Now
there is an outdoor patio with an outdoor bar and like lounge area, which is phenomenal. They have those like string lights lit. It's just pure like bliss vacation, like warm, balmy summer evening vibes for sure. At breakfast time, it is a character meal with Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy all in there. Cute little like artsy outfits.
Yeah.
Mickey's a painter, Daisy's a ballet dancer, Donald is a sculptor, and Minnie is a writer. Her outfit is the best one.
Her outfit, it's like a newspaper, like
it's covered in poetry and prose.
It's
words all
amazing.
over it. It's colored, it's belted, it's structured, and she has her little notebook with her.
It's worth going there. If you've done like all the
Yeah.
dining experiences at Disney and you want something really unique and you want to see these characters in a totally different outfit, I think that Topolino's for breakfast is a really good choice.
It's phenomenal.
As far as the characters go. But
Yes.
the food is also really good.
The food is also really good. Like Trattoria, it is the same style where you get like a bucket, basically it's a paint bucket of pastries delivered to your table, and then you can order an a la carte entree or 2 a la carte entrees, coffee, breakfast cocktails, all that good stuff. The food has been very delicious in my experience at breakfast time. There's some savory options, some sweet options,
That's nice.
and some plant-based options as well. I had a quiche there that was really, really delicious. They have like a really good like French-style omelet that's really yummy. Just a lot of great options for every type of breakfast eater. But my favorite meal there is dinner. It is so delicious. I'm not kidding, my best experience with a server at Walt Disney World was at Topolino. I went there. I've been there a couple times for dinner, but most recently in November, I went for dinner. Our server's name was Christopher. He was wonderful. He was so knowledgeable. He brought out the wine list. We got started talking about viticulture. He made an excellent wine selection for us. The food is phenomenal. Like, the appetizers are amazing. There is gnocchi with duck confit. Now, I'm not a duck person.
Yeah, me
but
neither.
It's very little
Okay.
amount. But the gnocchi are so, like, buttery and just tender and delicious that, like, it's worth it for having the duck with it.
Okay.
And the chicken sugo rigatoni,
Ooh.
phenomenal. All the pasta is made in-house. There's a bucatini dish with, like, tomatoes and olive oil that's just, like, so fresh and yummy. Like, you cannot go wrong. If you love pasta, if you love trying unique things, there's like escargot on the menu. So if you really want to have, like, a unique, authentic, upscale experience, this is, I'm going to say it, better than California Grill, and aside from maybe Jico, my favorite signature restaurant at Walt Disney World.
Impressive.
I'm going to say that. I'm
Yeah.
going to go on record saying that.
I haven't gone for dinner yet.
We're going right now!
Next time I'm here, we need to
We're
do
going.
that.
We're going.
I can't wait, because I believe you when you say it's better than California Grill.
And handmade pasta, Jess.
Yeah, you
and the
can't
bread
beat
is
that.
good.
Oh, the bread.
They have homemade bread that is very, like, Italian, like, almost ciabatta-style bread, and they bring you 2 different kinds of olive oil, like a more, like, savory one and, like, a fruit-forward olive oil to dip in it.
You cannot beat that combo.
No.
All right, well, we're making plans now
Yep.
for whenever I'm here next. We'll go
You
to
can hold
Topolino.
us to it.
Can't wait. Look for the Insta posts. But anyways, so that covers all of the Riviera dining.
Yeah, I think.
And the only other thing I want to mention is there is a little Disney highlight.
Hidden gem.
Yes, when you are walking to the Skyliner, there's this beautiful fountain under this archway. And under that archway are these gorgeous ceramic mosaic tiles that arch all the way up from one end to the other. There's a Tangled themed one with her tower and the lanterns, and then the other one is Peter Pan, and it has the London Big Ben clock tower, and then of course the golden pirate ship.
Yes.
And they're so intricate. Just
Oh,
if you just want to go up and like look at the tiles, each one is so individually different and placed perfectly, and it just creates this gorgeous mural. So it's one of the best photo spots, I think, at
it's
a resort.
gorgeous. Even just to see it. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, absolutely beautiful, and honestly worth the trip just to see that.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that.
And if you're just taking the Skyliner and you're doing like a hop off at a resort, like when you hop off at Riviera, you get off right there and you can see it right away, or right before you leave. So it's perfectly placed. We love Riviera. Very, very impressed. I'm really happy that it exists now.
But we have to move on.
And it's time to move on.
We're gonna go like completely to the other side of the property right now, because there is one last deluxe resort. There's a couple more deluxe DVC resorts we have to get to, but our last deluxe resort,
That's part DVC,
part not,
Yeah.
is a one that holds a special place in my heart. Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge.
We have a lot to talk about with
Jumbo House
this
and
one.
Kidani Village.
Mm-hmm.
If you want an immersive resort hotel and you don't care about proximity to the parks, the only park it's close to is Animal Kingdom, but it's a bus to everything. There's no boats or monorails or anything like that. So
Pretty secluded.
bring a car, but it is secluded. If you aren't interested in rope dropping and staying at the parks till all hours of the day and you want an immersive resort experience that feels truly like you are transported to another time and place, this is it. The first section is Jumbo House. It is the section that is partially DVC, partially not DVC. It surrounds, literally in a U shape, an actual savanna, an actual nature preserve, where you can walk out among like the rock formations and see all of these animals that you would see, most of the animals that you would see on Kilimanjaro Safari at Animal Kingdom. Giraffes, zebras, okapi, bontebok, all of the cool things. And there are guides out there as well, cast members who are actually from Africa, who will speak to being on safari in Africa, savannas, like the wildlife there, the culture, and it's so cool to talk to them. That is 100% the coolest part about being there. And that culture, that element extends into every nook and cranny of that resort. The architectural design. There are artifacts in little rooms off the lobby that you have to find. There's a gorgeous like open air rotunda fireplace. The music that's playing is so gorgeous and just like richly steeped in African culture, and a lot of the songs are in Afrikaans or Swahili. Even the Christmas music that they play at Christmas time. And I think this is one of those resorts that inspires you to travel, or if you know, like, I don't necessarily know if I can get to Africa, this is a great way to like get a taste, like dip your toe into a new culture that we really truly don't in this country know a whole lot about. So it's so cool.
I think for Animal Kingdom Lodge, it is worth investing in getting a savanna view.
Yes.
So you can see the savanna right from your balcony. You will literally sit out there and there will be giraffes walking by.
It is unreal.
It is amazing to have a morning cup of tea or coffee and to watch the animals right there.
Just have coffee with the giraffes.
Yes. So it's just, I think it's really worth it. It is a bit more, of course, because it is the premier choice. However,
worth every penny.
It really is worth it. And it's not like extremely ridiculously different. So definitely worth it. So like you said before, there's the Jumbo House, which is the non-DVC building, and then Kidani Village, which is the DVC building. Jumbo is definitely more of the main hustle and bustle. It is a lot bigger. They have a bigger gift shop. They have more restaurants there.
Yep.
And then Kidani does have its own lobby and its own small gift shop, and then it does have one restaurant there that is my personal favorite.
Yes.
We're going to transition into restaurants because that's what we do on this podcast.
That's what we're here for.
So we're going to start at Kidani Village, and the one restaurant they have there is called Sanaa. You have probably heard me talk about this before. A lot of African and Indian style foods. The menu is just curated to be a delicious dining experience.
Yes.
You want to start out your meal with the naan bread with 9 dipping sauces. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
It's so delicious. They also have butter chicken, which is one of my favorite highlights on the menu.
So you get basmati rice, and then you get to pick 2 other components.
Yeah.
You get to pick a protein component and then more like a vegetable component.
Mm-hmm.
You can get butter chicken or a seafood curry, or they usually have like a short rib that's a little on the spicier side. And then for the plant-based options, they have aloo masala, which is a potato curry that's delicious. There's a chickpea wat, which is a spicy chickpea curry, my personal favorite. And then they have a cilantro and coconut vegetable kind of like medley that's definitely like a little milder. Probably for your like more picky eaters, you're gonna want to go with that one because it's a little like milder in flavor, and they're like recognizable. You know what you're getting.
Yes. So other highlights on the menu: the Sanaa burger is really good at lunch as well. They have tandoori chicken.
The tandoori chicken at lunch is like it comes on naan bread. It's like an open faced sandwich type of thing. And then at dinner they have biryani, which if you've heard of, it's an Indian dish. It's basically basmati rice and tandoori chicken, or there's shrimp, or you can just get it with just like the vegetables that it will come with. So it's like if you feel like you're a pickier eater, but you're gonna experience a lot of those flavors, that like toasted coriander and cumin and all of those spices are what will like bridge you from okay, I recognize that this is basically like chicken, rice, and vegetables, into, oh, but this is how I would be eating my chicken, rice, and vegetables in this country. So really giving yourself over to Sanaa and like enjoying it as an introduction to a new culture and their foods and their traditions is, I think, the best approach.
Absolutely.
And the bread service is the way to go.
The bread service is the way to go. And just atmospherically, the decor inside is really beautiful. They have really intricate detailing, and the lamps are gorgeous with little stained glass in them. And
woods are warm. The colors are vibrant.
Yes. And then if you look out the back, you can see the animals as you're eating your meal.
Yeah.
Which is
right on the savannah.
It's a huge highlight. So Sanaa is one of, I think, the biggest hidden gems at Walt Disney World. You just... If you haven't been, you got to get on over there.
Can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. So we'll leave Kidani Village and transition over to Jambo House. The quick service,
The Mara,
is my favorite quick service on Disney property.
It was mine until Primo Piatto happened.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. However, I still love, I don't know, this meal is so particular to the Mara that I would go there for it any day. So you can order a variety of different foods here. They have a lot of different options. Of course, they still have your classic American options, but they have an African stew on the Mara menu that is delicious. It's like a curry with a bunch of vegetables and proteins and rice. And then you also can go over to the fridge and get a little pack of zebra domes, which are like little moose domes that are decorated like a zebra.
And have Kahlua in them.
They do. And they're very, very delicious. And they actually have a gluten-free option. Gluten-free one, the bottom is chocolate. So actually, if you like chocolate,
that's totally better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing to get at the Mara is the like falafel platter that they have. It's really, really yummy. They have like a Kenyan chicken barbecue flatbread, which is kind of interesting. Just some unique options in addition to your traditional quick service fare, and a lot of like pastries and desserts that are unique to there as well. So they'll always have like a unique cupcake, and there's this peanut butter brownie that's Mickey shaped that is not African at all, but is so cute and delicious.
It's Disney.
They'll have like Lion King themed desserts and whatnot, and you can get a jungle juice slushie there, which isn't like your college frat party jungle juice. It is the passion orange guava juice that you can get at some of the restaurants on property, but it is a frozen slushy version.
This is new to me. I'm gonna have to go.
You're welcome. So right now the Mara is only open for breakfast, but hopefully it will be open for all 3 meals again once the resort fully opens. So there are 2 table service restaurants at Jambo House. The first being the signature restaurant Jiko, which is my favorite signature restaurant at Walt Disney World. It is phenomenal. The most curated South African wine list in the United States is at this restaurant, so you'll find the most extensive list of South African wines at Jiko. The menu changes seasonally. There are lots of just really authentic options. Again, this is an experience you want to give yourself over to. Your server is going to be extremely knowledgeable if there's anything you're unsure about, but I would say just approach it with an open mind and open palate and explore these cuisines that, again, are such a celebration of a rich, rich history. If you want to try a lot of different options, but you want to fill up your plate and gorge yourself on this Indian and African cuisine, you can head to my favorite restaurant at Walt Disney World, which serves both breakfast and dinner. Dinner is my favorite meal there, although they are both phenomenal. It is Boma. You go in with stretchy pants or nothing.
Yes, you do.
Or just wear like a dress, like something flowy, jumpsuit deal, because you are going to roll. I mean, I go hard. I go so hard that I have lovingly coined the term over the years that people have caught on to. Boma coma.
I've caught on to it.
The food coma at Boma is real, and it just happens to rhyme. So get ready for your Boma coma. If you go at breakfast time, you will find some African style breakfast options, but you'll also find your standard breakfast fare as well. Some notables, there's like a pecan bread pudding French toast deal that people love, and something called boboti, which is like an egg dish that also has like a savory ground beef with lots of spices that people really love at breakfast time. Kenyan coffee, always a plus. Different breakfast pastries and eggs and things like that. They used to have scrambled eggs with like goat cheese and chives in them that were really good, that now I just make at home because I'm like, this is good, but also it's so easy to make. So
these restaurants give you
inspire
inspiration.
us. But dinner at Boma is where the real magic happens. You will find so many incredible things. You'll find some standard fare if you're feeling like you're not totally ready to give yourself over. But you'll find so many incredible salads with fresh ingredients that are inspired by these regions. You'll find salads with guava and avocado and tropical flavors. You'll find lots of curry things. There's going to be curry stews and soups. There's a carrot ginger soup that when you put it over like basmati rice is just the bee's knees. You'll find salmon and a carving station with short rib and prime rib and chicken and all these different sauces. You'll find bobotie at dinner as well, actually, and then something called chakalaka and something called pop, which I like to have together. Pop is it looks like cream of wheat, but it's like savory. It's not sweet at all. It's not sweetened. It's just like this, like kind of almost polenta-like dish, and the chakalaka is like this tomato stew basically. So I'll get like a scoop of the pop and then put the tomato thing over it, and it is just delicious. And if you can get some like naan bread or those crackers and kind of like scoop it, but it's really delicious if you try it. There's house-made hummus and crackers. There is like a whole station with just like different fruits. It's so fresh and vibrant. The flavors are just like a celebration in your mouth. You can't get enough, because every time you take a bite of something, it's something different and new and unique, and so you just have to try everything. And they do have the zebra domes for dessert. Like Cape May, there's some smaller dessert options. So
you can try tons of stuff.
Most notably, the zebra domes. My sister's favorite, the Kenyan coffee tarts, which are these little, they're gluten-free. They're chocolate shells with coffee mousse in the middle.
Yum.
So yummy. And then they usually have some sort of a fruit like panna cotta, like a guava panna cotta or passion fruit. Passion fruit one is so good. So once you make it to dessert, you are pretty full, but luckily the desserts are really small, so you can try a few without going too far over the edge.
Honestly, I would say restaurant-wise, I think Animal Kingdom Lodge would win in best restaurant category.
Yeah, I think that and like that, Polynesian, and Riviera for me are like the top 3 restaurants.
So
Resorts. So good.
So the next portion of our resort hop, we're going to do full DVC resorts now.
Yes.
So these are just DVC units. You can, of course, pay to stay there. It is going to be more, but
kind of like Riviera.
Yeah. But the first one we're going to start with is the very, very first Disney Vacation Club resort that was ever created. Just to give you a little background, if you haven't heard about DVC before, it's basically Disney's version of what a timeshare would be.
Yep.
You purchase your membership, and then you get an allotment of points per year that renew every year, and then you can use those points towards your vacation units. So Old Key West was the first resort to open that you were able to buy a membership for. And you have a home resort, so a lot of the original DVC members are Old Key West members.
So a lot of people that stay there are people that like ride or die Old Key West. And it is themed exactly as it sounds. South Florida, Key West, tropical, lush, I mean super lush, just greenery everywhere, palm trees. It's built around a golf course. What's more Floridian than old men golfing?
Oh my god.
These pastel colors of minty greens and pastel pinks and blues.
Yeah.
Everything just feels light and airy, and just like you can just go, sit back and relax.
Very relaxing. Very, again, doesn't feel like you're at Hustle and Bustle theme park.
That is the theme across most of the Disney resort
and
hotels.
that's why they're so wonderful.
It's
so
very sprawled out. I would recommend a car at this resort,
or requesting to be as close to the hospitality house as possible,
which is the main building.
If you are unable to do so, they do have bus stops around the resort. So you're not totally out of luck if you are far away. It just is going to take a bit longer to get to the places you really want to go. Like we just said, the hospitality house is the main building area. That's where you're going to go to check in, but that's also where the main pool is going to be located.
There's a little grab and go quick service that just has like very basic standard grab and go quick service fare, but this is also where you can catch a boat to Disney Springs. So while you do have to take a bus to all the parks, there is a boat that will take you to Disney Springs, so that's kind of a neat option if you think you'll be spending a lot of time there. But
yes, so the main restaurant at Old Key West is Olivia's Cafe, and it is very Florida Keys style. They do have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Their breakfast is delicious. The banana bread French toast is a very sweet option, but a very good option. And for dinner, they have a lot of sandwiches and fried chicken, a variety of dishes. Very homey.
Conch fritters, key lime pie.
Yeah.
Like
Key lime pie.
homey South Florida, for sure. It's just very light and airy and just very chill. Like, I wouldn't feel weird going there in sweatpants.
Yeah, it's very, very,
Very
chill.
chill.
It literally feels like you're at your Florida vacation home.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to get a reservation there because a lot of people just don't know about it, and a lot of people don't go over to Old Key West if they're not staying there.
Most of the people eating there are staying there. So it's worth the trip over if you want to have like a sit-down breakfast or something and can't find a reservation anywhere else. Food's delicious.
Yeah. The location of the resort is good. Like you were saying, it's right near Disney Springs. Outside of Olivia's, there is this huge wall with frames of like OG Disney Vacation Club members, like old trip photos from
really
like
sweet.
the 90s and early 2000s, and it's really cute. So it's just kind of, it's like a memory wall.
Yeah. I'd say if there was any Disney resort that felt like a living scrapbook, it would be Old Key West.
For sure. I agree. And right across the way there is the gift shop that's connected. It holds a special place in my heart. I feel like we used to eat at Olivia's as kids. While we were waiting for our food, we'd go in the gift shop and just explore and then go back and eat our dinner. So it's all right in that area for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that bird is really loud.
I know, but I love it.
He's so cute.
So ambient.
So, yeah, so that's the main thing. And like I was saying, like the main pool is there and all the recreational activities. You can rent bikes there. There's like shuffleboard and games you can play, ping pong tables, foosball. Like it feels like a vacation club.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really went in on the like experience of having it be very homey and vacation clubby.
For sure.
So, and the units are actually pretty big there.
They are the most square footage of any of them, I think.
I think it's because it was the original one. They went pretty big.
They had a lot of room to move. And the other exclusively Disney Vacation Club resort that we have left to talk about is a little bit newer and not quite as sprawled out as Old Key West, but it is still very big.
Out. Yeah.
Disney Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa, which is themed, you guessed it, after Saratoga Springs, New York. Very equestrian, very upstate New York, very, again, with those light kind of pastel colors, but with, you see like the biggest shift for me is like the foliage changes. These trees are like oak trees and magnolias, and the foliage shifts from that like tropical vibe to a more northeast sense of like something we would have grown up with, the kind of trees that would be in our backyard. And again, it is DVC exclusively. That doesn't mean you can't stay there if you're not DVC, but the points value for DVC members at Old Key West and Saratoga are great. You're going to use very few points per night for the accommodations. The big draw for Saratoga Springs is that it is located right across from Disney Springs, so depending which section you're in, you can walk to Disney Springs from any of them, but there are some sections that are closer to the walkway to Disney Springs. Congress Park is the one that's right on the walkway to Disney Springs.
So if you want to request that on your reservation,
if you want to walk to Disney Springs and back easily,
that's what I would request.
That's always what I request.
Yeah.
There are 3 pools at Saratoga Springs. There is the main pool, the High Rock Springs pool, right by the spa in the main lobby building. That's where you're going to find the water slide, the pool bar, all of that good stuff. There's actually another pool that has a water slide and a pool bar in the paddock section. So you kind of have 2 options for like the full pool day experience. And then there's a little quiet pool over in Congress Park that's really nice as well. They all have hot tubs and everything, and they're very classy and upscale. The main building does have both a quick service and a table service restaurant. Not like a whole lot to note here cuisine-wise, but there are options for you if you are staying there. I would say if you are over in the main building, get on that boat launch over to Disney Springs if you want to have lots of different dining options. But it's a great resort. Honestly, like I've always had a great stay there. The rooms are beautiful. The whole grounds are beautiful to walk around.
They have those details in the room too with like the horses.
The different Disney horses.
Yeah, Maximus. It's good for horse
Angus
girls.
from Brave. Yeah. It's good if you're a horse girl, for sure. And you can rent Surrey bikes there.
But if you rent a normal bike, you can bike from Saratoga to Old Key West and vice versa, which is
kind of fun.
Really nice. It's just a very expansive place to ride bikes around.
Yep. But definitely the draw is the location proximity to Disney Springs. So definitely a great option, especially if you are a DVC member and you're looking to kind of come down and not use a lot of points but maybe stay for longer. These would be great resorts because you don't have to worry about jam-packing a lot of park days or anything like that where you would need that proximity to the park, say at like Bay Lake Tower or the Boardwalk or something. So
Yes.
that is all of the deluxe resorts and all of the DVC resorts.
Woo.
And we can move on to the moderates.
We hope you guys are sticking with us. We are doing great.
We're trying to plug away here. So I think that we have to talk about our favorite moderate resort first.
Let's start with that one.
And I'm going to let you take it away because
Thank
this
you.
resort holds a special place in your heart. And I'm going to take a little walk.
Please do. So the first resort we're going to talk about is Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, which was the first place I ever worked at Walt Disney World on my Disney College program in 2013. And this resort has gone through so many changes over the past few years, especially. But the core of the resort is that there are 3 sections to it. There's the Cabana section, there's the Rancho section, and then there is the Casita section. I can't believe I was blanking on that name. How many reservations did I check in there? The resort is very spread out for those buildings, but there is now a Grand Destino Tower, which brings it all together, and there are also rooms right in the tower building. Very Spanish and Latin infused theming, and it's beautiful. I am such a huge fan of this resort. The decor they chose, especially in the new tower, is very vibrant, full of lots of colors. The tower itself is very open air and spacious, has a ton of windows, very light inside. It has shaped up to be a really great resort. I think that you really do get a deluxe resort experience for a moderate price, which is really great. Coronado Springs also has a convention center, so there are a lot of conventions that come and stay at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. That was a really big majority of the clientele when I was there, but I think a lot of families have started to catch on to how great it is. The tower rooms are more expensive typically, but if you are staying in the rooms in one of the 3 sections I just mentioned, I would say that the casitas would be where I would choose to stay.
Yes.
Agreed. And then, but if you are pool people and you don't mind being far away from the main building, Ranchos is where the main pool is. So there's something to think about there.
That's true.
Cabanas is also pretty close to the main tower and the main building.
It's not that far.
It's not that far. It is a pretty big loop. There are bus stops at each of the sections.
A beautiful walk.
It's a beautiful walk, and they have really utilized the space that they have in the lake that's in the middle. Let's talk about the pool.
All right.
So the pool's in the Rancho section. There is a huge pyramid and a water slide that goes into this pool. It's very, very lively over there. Lots going on. They have a hot tub, a pool bar, the whole works.
Good fish tacos at the pool bar. Fun fact.
You know, pool bars have some underrated food at Disney. I feel like they're adding in a few gems of, like, unique foods. Amazing pool. There's also some quiet pools in the casitas and the cabana sections if you need something a little more low-key. Anything else we need to add about the actual resort itself?
Oh no, but let's talk restaurants.
Let's talk restaurants.
So, honestly, the addition of the Grand Destino Tower has brought so many phenomenal dining locations to Coronado Springs. There are some to mention that existed before. Mercado is just your traditional like food court style. As we move into the moderates and values, you'll find big quick services with more options and more seating, but it is pretty standard fare. There are some things that have a little bit of flair. There's like a breakfast thing that has like salsa involved, stuff like that. But again, pretty standard.
And then there's Maya Grill, which is a sit-down restaurant as well, which they did have before.
Yeah, doesn't it just serve dinner though, I think?
That is just dinner.
But it's not open right now. No. But out in the middle of Lago Dorado at Coronado Springs is a restaurant called 3 Bridges, which is a restaurant, bar, lounge type of place. It is a full service menu, but there are a lot of comfortable seating like couches and big comfy chairs, as well as regular tables, as well as bar seating. It is like a peninsula. It's open air on 3 sides, but it is entirely covered, so if it's raining, you can absolutely still eat there. It is beautiful for those sunset views. It opens at 4:30 p.m. every day. Incredible drinks, great food, lots of different options and variety, and you can get either a pitcher or a flight of sangria.
The flight is so fun.
It is fun. It's
we
like
got
tiered.
The flight.
We did. It was fun.
And it's fun. And the food options are really delicious. This vibe of Three Bridges reminds me a bit of Geyser Point at
Yes.
Wilderness Lodge. They were built around the same time, so it seems very similar structurally, but of course the theming is more themed to Coronado Springs.
Mhm.
And you just can't beat the water view. Like, you are
No.
on the water.
Right on the water.
It's amazing. You can see the view of the tower, you can see the view of the pool and the other areas of the resort. It's such a great spot. Again, for date nights, night out with friends or family,
I've had,
or
like, work meetings there.
yeah, it's
just
great
great
for all occasions.
Yes. Some notable food choices there. The shrimp and corn fritters with like the jalapeno crema dipping sauce. Phenomenal. All the appetizers are honestly delicious. There are pork tacos that are really yummy on the menu, and they have these like hot honey chicken biscuit sliders, and even their fries are good. Like,
Yeah,
and they have warm churros for dessert. Very shareable, very delicious things.
so good.
Now, we have to head over into the tower. And on the ground floor is a place called Barcelona Lounge, which pre-COVID functioned as a coffee bar in the morning and a cocktail bar in the evening, which, if you don't know me, you know that my motto is coffee until cocktails. That's my whole, like, I'm drinking water and then I'm drinking coffee and cocktails, and that's pretty much it. So delicious. Hopefully they bring back the evening cocktail situation because there were some really great drinks. But in the morning, you can have full espresso bar. You can get a cortado, a Gibraltar, Americano, just straight espresso. And there are some grab-and-go breakfast options as well.
The overnight oats were really good.
Quite good for a
And-
healthy breakfast option.
Yeah, it is difficult to find a breakfast option that is healthy
Yes.
on Disney property, as
Yes.
you probably know. But the overnight oats was my go-to when I stayed there, and I still think about it to this
Very
day.
delicious.
So it was very good.
Very delicious. And a fun thing to note as well is they do have, this is such a niche thing, but I was actually there the other day and they have like almond milk, oat milk, your
Yay.
plant-based milk. So I think oat milk is the best coffee milk that exists. But we have to go to possibly my new favorite spot. One of them. I don't know. It might be my favorite.
There's
I can't.
just so many good spots
so good.
lately.
If you head all the way up to the 16th floor of the Grand Destino Tower, on the left-hand side when you step off the elevator is a restaurant called Toledo, which is not open right now, but when it is a tapas-style Spanish restaurant that I have not eaten at yet, but have heard phenomenal things about. On the other side is the Dahlia Lounge, which opens at 5 p.m. every day. Okay, it's rare that I go to a lounge just like specifically for the food, because usually I'm like trying to have a cocktail. The cocktails are phenomenal. There is a gin and tonic that includes a house-made saffron syrup that they make in-house that is delicious. If you are kind of into a gin and tonic type of drink, you want something light and refreshing that's really unique, that's a great one. All sorts of great cocktails there. They do have sangria and a full wine list as well, and beer and everything. But the food at Dahlia Lounge is phenomenal. Again, it's Spanish tapas style. Their charcuterie board is the best one on property for sure.
Good to know.
The croquettes with
Yes.
the jalapeno pesto. I think
Those
we
were
had
so
those.
good.
So good. They have ham and cheese bocadillo, which is like an
Mhm.
Iberico ham with manchego cheese, honey, and on a baguette. Delicious. They have a Spanish tortilla española, which is like not a tortilla. It's almost like a frittata. It has eggs and like potatoes and white beans, and it comes with this like olive tapenade. So it feels a little breakfasty, but like also is totally dinner food. At the same time, they have like crispy artichokes. They have like shrimp, all sorts of delicious things. Absolutely the best lounge menu, I think, on Disney property. Worth a trip. I would say though, it does fill up quickly, so get there early if you have a large party with you, because it is first come first serve, and the tables are just like whatever's available. So
Yes. So Coronado is very underrated.
leveled up so hard with Destino. You need to add it to your must-do list.
Coronado
You just
had the
do.
best glow up of all the resorts,
It really
in my
did.
opinion.
She
And
said, "I'm here."
yeah,
I can hang.
She's cute. She's fun. She's got really good food.
We
And
love it.
an amazing atmosphere, a great theme, just an overall excellent experience.
Excellent.
So, moving on, we're going to move to our next moderate resort, which,
Has some island vibes.
yeah,
Right across from Disney's Riviera Resort, which also means that it has Skyliner access, which has leveled it up
yes,
as a moderate resort.
it actually has the main Skyliner station
Yes.
at this
Disney's
resort.
Caribbean Beach Resort,
Mhm.
which admittedly I think is, I've only stayed at one time pre-Skyliner days, but I've walked
Yeah.
around recently, and just the whole, like, it's just, to me, it's very playful. The colors are bright and vibrant. You can see the Skyliner going overhead. Even, like, the big, like, open-air food court area and the restaurant Sebastian's Bistro. It's named after our favorite crustacean. Not open right now, but that has, like, a very Cuban vibe with, like, Cuban Puerto Rican food. Caribbean food, obviously. Plantains and black beans and rice and, like, jerk chicken and things like that.
Yum.
And the outdoor, like, pool bar area by the main pool called Calypso's is just, like, there's tropical music playing. There's, like, fans that look like banana leaves. Everything is bright. Like, everything's brightly colored. It's just a fun resort to be at. And I feel like that Skyliner edition has really become, like, the key selling point.
Yes. I would say Caribbean has been one of my least visited resorts.
Me too.
I haven't really gone there. Just a lot of the resorts, I'll be like, oh, there's like a food I really like or a like aspect of it that I really like that draws me. Caribbean hasn't really had that until the Skyliner, but I do have to say that walk around the lake is a huge draw. There are like the cabanas on the water in between Riviera and Caribbean that are really nice to sit on. And yeah, just the whole vibe of the bright colors and the tropical feel is really nice.
Really, really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. And
you'll notice as the resorts, you know, kind of come down from the deluxes and have just less amenities, less restaurants, will have less to say overall, but that does not mean that they are not worth a visit. And the key thing to keep in mind with these resorts as we get into moderates and values is price point. If you are coming to Walt Disney World and you are not planning on spending a lot of time at the resort because you've got young kids or you really want to spend a lot of time in the parks, save your money. All the resorts are amazing to stay at. Yeah. And definitely stay somewhere that's not going to put as deep a hole in your wallet.
Yeah, and just think about, like, we'll talk about the theming of each one, so think about what theming would resonate with you the most.
What seems like unique.
So if you like a tropical island vibe and you don't really want to totally break the bank with a deluxe, like Caribbean's really great. And you get the Skyliner amenity. Yeah. So anyways, we'll move on to the next moderate resorts, which I think we can kind of group into one.
They're sister resorts, much like Yacht and Beach Club.
We have Port Orleans is the overall. We have Port Orleans French Quarter, and then we have Port Orleans Riverside. So Port Orleans French Quarter is more like Mardi Gras themed, New Orleans, big festival celebration.
It's themed after the French Quarter in New Orleans.
Exactly.
And people who are from there are like, this is pretty accurate.
It
is.
Minus
all the drunk people.
Yeah.
This is accurate. Which honestly sounds better.
It's more Disney friendly.
Yes. Family friendly.
Yes. There's a lot of really bright Mardi Gras colors like purple and green and yellow. You'll see like the big larger than life masks that you wear, like the eye masks you would wear during Mardi Gras. Masquerade. And yeah, the decor is just really fun. It is kind of an older resort, so it does have that more vintage Disney feel in some of the areas, which I do like a lot.
I think the thing I love most about this resort, specifically French Quarter, is the size. It is the smallest of the moderate resorts. It's very easy to get around. Every street really feels like you're on a street. There are these wrought iron fences and lanterns, and there'll be a name like on the street, like in the cobblestone, the name of the street that you're on between the buildings. It feels like you're in a neighborhood, and I think that that's the coolest thing. The only real dining option at French Quarter is the quick service Sassagoula Floatworks, and you will find a lot of like Cajun Creole style things in addition to your traditional quick service fare. I think the most notable piece is you can get freshly made beignets at this resort, which is kind of a draw. Some people will go just to grab some beignets. And then there is a little lounge bar area that has live music often in the evenings called Scat Cats Lounge, and they'll have like kind of live jazz music playing, which is really fun too. And then there is a little gift shop that just has your traditional sundries and things. And yeah, in addition to the Old Key West Saratoga bike ride, you can rent bikes at one of these resorts and ride between Port Orleans, French Quarter, and Riverside. So as you ride over to Riverside, this has much more of like a bayou vibe. Like this to me feels like Baton Rouge. Like you're getting into these like big white mansions, and definitely like it feels like Southern. Yeah. You feel like everybody should have an accent. There are magnolia trees, like just blooming, and there's the big Sasagula River that winds right through the center of the resort, separating like the main building side from all of those beautiful mansions on the other side.
Yeah.
And it is more spacious and definitely more spread out.
Yeah. One of the really cool things about this resort is that there is an option. There are, of course, the basic rooms that everybody gets there, but then there is an option to stay in a princess-themed guest room.
Which we have done.
And it's quite magical.
If you watch the Frumpiness Begins tour.
Yeah, we'll link that in the show notes for you.
You can see what the rooms look like.
Yeah.
Just lots of touches from...
Lots of princess intricacies. There's princess portraits on the wall. There's an amazing headboard. And there's a lot of Tiana-infused details, which is really fun.
In addition to the princess rooms, which are in those white mansion-style buildings, like Magnolia Terrace, Acadian House, there are additional guest rooms in another section of the resort that is called Alligator Bayou that definitely has a more like bayou, swampy sort of feel, but it's really fun. And those ones sleep up to 5 guests. They do have like a pull-out couch kind of trundle situation, so that's something to note too if you've got more people in your crew. But there's those kind of like 2 separate sections, and then over in the mansion section there are the regular guest rooms and the princess rooms as well. There is a pool, a main pool with a water slide, a whole big area there, and a pool bar. And there actually are a few dining options at Riverside as well. There is the big quick service.
Yes, that used to be one of my favorites. The good news is they still have the magic cookie bar that we talked about from Wilderness Lodge. The bad news is they got rid of the create your own pasta bar, and I'm not going to get over it for a very long time.
The interior of this quick service, though, is so cool. It's right by this big, amazing water wheel, and like the internal workings of it are actually inside. It's called the Riverside Mill, so it's like supposed to replicate a working mill, which just totally lends itself to that like plantation vibe of Riverside, of like, here's where we like grind these grains into whatever we're making. So there is the quick service option there, and then right down the hallway is a table service restaurant called Boatwrights, which is very like New Orleans, Louisiana, jambalaya, gumbo, all of those classic quintessential New Orleans dishes are there. It's not open right now, but when it was, super easy to get a reservation or a walk up there, because again, it's really the restaurant that people staying there were eating at, and not really anyone else was coming over to eat there. The name of the lounge is called River Roost. It is pretty much your standard, like, it almost has like a little bit of a saloon feel to it, and especially when there's like live entertainment in the evenings, there's sometimes like piano players, singers, a little skit. There was an iconic performer there for a while. We'll see if he returns post-COVID, but Yeehaw Bob was a favorite of many guests.
And then you can get drinks and have a really fun night out. So I think that pretty much covers the Port Orleans area. I think that's a pretty underrated resort experience. It's really fun. They feel really close-knit. You can take a boat to Disney Springs too, I believe.
From either one, yeah.
Which is great. So that's a really big plus location-wise. Yeah. And then buses to all the other parks. So yeah, I believe that's all of our moderate resorts that we need to cover. So we are going to transition
one more category
into one more category, which is the Disney Value Resorts. So let's start with
I think we should start with the All-Stars.
All-Stars are...
We're going to run through these a little quicker.
Yeah. So there's 3 All-Star resorts. There's All-Star Movies, Music, and Sports. The one Disney resort I've never stayed at is All-Star Sports, because I just don't really care for sports.
I stayed there with my brother once.
That's perfect.
And it was fun. Yeah, it was perfect for us. I think that, you know, if you're trying to decide between these resorts, it's not really a proximity thing because they're all literally right next to each other. You really just pick your theme.
And they're all very far away from everything.
If you've got, like, aspiring Major League Baseball players, stay at sports. If you've got, like, a tiny musician in your family, stay at music. If you've got someone who just really loves the Mighty Ducks, stay at All-Star Movies.
Or it's like a Disney movie buff. Yeah. Because there's some really unique Disney movies that don't really get featured in other areas of the resort that are at All-Star Movies.
Yep. So each resort has some unique sections. At All-Star Sports, there is a baseball section, a football section, a Surf's Up section where the pool is, and that section is the one I stayed in. It's like kind of the right next to the main building. The pool's really fun. It's really bright and vibrant. Definitely fun for kids. There's a food court at each resort. They pretty much all serve similar standard quick service fair. Over at All Star Music, there's a rock section, a jazz section, a calypso section where you're going to find the main pool featuring the Three Caballeros.
Is there a Broadway section?
There is a Broadway section as well.
That's where I was staying.
There's going to be a few different pools at each resort just because they are a little bit on the bigger side. There's like 2 to 3 pools at each resort. So you can kind of find the one that's near your building. Over at All Star Movies, there is the main Fantasia pool and the Fantasia section. There's also a Love Bug section, 101 Dalmatians, and I think the most notable section, not the Mighty Ducks, sorry, is the Toy Story section, which actually is quite cool because there are some larger-than-life Buzz Lightyear, Woody, Rex, the big blocks, and there is actually a door into Andy's room that is so tall, and the cloud wallpaper is all around you, and you do feel like you're really entering Andy's room. So I'd say that's the highlight. That's like all 3 All-Star
That's like
resorts.
pre-Toy Story Land. Like,
Yes.
that was their
It's the
initial
little
playground.
precursor. So if you've got a big Toy Story fan in your family and you're looking to stay at the parks most of the time and want to save some money, I'd say that that is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, so yeah, if you're those people who are just like parks people, but you want to stay on property, but you don't want to spend a ton, All-Star is great for that.
Yep.
They have everything you need. It's just like the basic, a place to sleep, food,
And
it's right there.
rooms,
and it's still fun.
And the rooms were recently renovated, so they are very up to date. And then we'll head over to Pop Century,
Yep.
which is
Based on the different decades.
Yes.
Which is really fun.
It's really fun. It's really nostalgic. I think this is a fun resort if you've got multiple generations because they're going to recognize a lot of things from their childhood, whether it's the larger-than-life Walkman in the 80s section or maybe the doo-wop music you hear in the 50s section. The sections are the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. The cool thing about Pop Century now is there is Skyliner access, which is awesome. The Valley resorts tend to get gypped when it comes to varied transportation options, but now Art of Animation and Pop Century have a mutual Skyliner station on the bridge that connects the two of them, which is great.
You can walk in between those 2 resorts too, which is really nice.
Over in the 1950s section, you'll find a larger-than-life Lady and Tramp from Lady and the Tramp, and the pool is shaped like a bowling pin, which is fun. You'll hear a lot of shoo-bop, doo-wop music. My favorite section, though, is the 60s section. It is, like, so bright, neon greens and oranges, flower power everywhere. I just love the 1970s. The main pool is shaped like a giant flower. It is called the Hippy Dippy Pool. There is a Hippy Dippy pool bar. So perfect, so fun. I think for both of us, the real draw of this resort is that at the food court, which is the dining option here, is an iconic Disney snack that, again, was a Disboard's fave called tie-dye cheesecake. It is red velvet cake topped with rainbow tie-dye swirled cheesecake. Pretty standard, but delicious, super nostalgic and fun.
And photogenic.
And very photogenic.
Yes.
So, if you walk across the bridge and past the Skyliner station to the other resort that it shares, you are at the newest value resort,
Disney's Art of Animation Resort, which is my favorite of the values. There are 4 sections at this resort. There is the Finding Nemo section, which is where the main building is located. You have the Lion King section, which has family suites. You have the Cars section, which has family suites. And then you have the Little Mermaid section, which has actually standard rooms. So there's 3 sections with family suites and then 1 with standard rooms. The Little Mermaid section is the farthest from the main building, but not a bad walk at all.
No.
Each of the sections have larger-than-life statues and structures, and the theming is so Disney.
So fun.
Like, it's the most Disney resort you could possibly stay.
This is the place you stay with your kids.
Yeah.
Because your kids aren't going to remember or care about the sconces or the crown molding at the Grand Floridian. They're going to remember
Giant Ariel.
Giant Ariel and King Triton and Mr. Ray with Nemo and Crush and Squirt and
Simba and Timon and Pumbaa walking across a log.
Yes, and Scar and Rafiki, and over in the car section they're going to remember
Lightning
the
McQueen.
Cozy Cone, Lightning McQueen, and Tow Mater.
Yeah.
And there are 3 different pools at this resort. There is the Cozy Cone pool, which is my favorite pool, actually, because all of the cabanas are inside of cones. So you can actually relax and curl up in the shade under your Cozy Cone.
Yes.
At the Cozy Cone pool that is at the Cozy Cone Motel. There is a pool over in the Little Mermaid section. It's not, like, really themed, but there is some kind of, like, seaweed foliage around. It is still feeling very Atlantica over there. And then the main pool is the Big Blue Pool, which features Crush and Squirt and Nemo and all their friends. There is kind of a reef play area with all of Nemo's little school friends.
Yes.
And there is the pool bar there, which is the best pool bar name of anywhere on property. It's called The Drop-Off.
Yes.
Ba-dum-bum.
And if you go underwater in the big blue pool, you can actually hear music.
They play the music underwater, so while you're swimming,
So
you
cool.
can hear the music playing, which is definitely the coolest part.
One time I was there, the song that sticks out is Beyond the Sea.
Yes.
Which is just such a classic song, and it's so Finding Nemo.
It's great.
It's so good.
Also here, the only real food option, obviously besides the pool bar, is going to be the quick service, which is called Landscape of Flavors, which also has sections themed after concept art from each of the films represented at the resort.
Yes.
Again, we used to love this quick service because of the create your own pasta, and I loved it because it had tandoori chicken. The menu
has declined.
But we're hoping it's
unfortunately.
just because of COVID and that all of the old options will come back, because if that's the case, it's one of the best quick services.
I used to make specific trips to Art of Animation for this quick
Yes.
service, and I'm really disappointed
Same.
with the current state of
Same.
affairs over there. I miss the Create Your Own Pasta at here and Riverside, but we'll just pray for
We love a carb.
redemption. Yeah, we love a carb.
And we did it!
Yeah.
Okay, we were like, how are we going to get through all these resorts all in one episode?
You know, I
Or
was
maybe
like,
two.
I was like, we're gonna push through. Thank you guys for listening. This was really fun.
This was so fun.
I've been really looking forward to making this episode because, like we said before, the resorts are our favorite part of Walt Disney World.
Yes.
For sure.
For
I love
sure.
the parks, but the resorts honestly have the most special place in my heart because
Yep.
there's so much to it.
There's so much to it, and
You can't beat this, you know?
I'm so glad we
come
got
on.
to do this together. I'm so
Yeah.
glad we got to do it here in this most beautiful, magical setting. I hope that this has helped you if you are thinking of coming to Disney World as the world is starting to open up again and as the Disney World is starting to open up again, that this kind of like helped you spark something. Oh, maybe we want to stay there. Maybe we want to check out that restaurant.
Yeah. I hope you
again-
know where to eat now because
Yeah.
we gave you very in-depth
We did.
discussions.
And if you love a carb like us, we got you.
you know where to find the good bread at
Thank
Walt
you
Disney World.
so much for joining us in this month of celebrating all of the best parts of Walt Disney World. We have so enjoyed getting back to our core roots.
Mhm.
And stay tuned, because next month is May, and it's bringing a whole slew of new episodes with a very fun and endearing theme.
Yes, stay tuned for next month. You'll find out very soon what the new theme is. Much to look forward to. Very exciting interviews and episodes planned for you guys. And we hope you enjoyed Frumping Around the World with both of us.
Yes, come back next Tuesday at 8 a.m. for some more fun.
Yes, so
We'll be here.
have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you also enjoyed the YouTube portion. It's our first video podcast. This is a special occasion. We're not going to do this all the time, but it was really
Sprinkle it
fun.
in. I had fun.
liked it.
I
I
had
really
fun.
liked it a lot. So thank you guys for listening, and
We're going to go enjoy the resorts.
we'll talk to you next week.
Bye!
Bye!
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of ReDIScover. Please subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening. Your reviews are what keep us going, and we'd love to hear from you. Join us every Tuesday for a new conversation, and let us know what you think we should talk about next. Follow us on Instagram at positively.kristen and at jessicafay508. And check out Jess's blog at theroadjesstraveled with 1l.com. Until next time, stay frumpy!